So,
Sweet.
welcome to the Brown Bag Business Chat. We are back after our long holiday break. We're so excited today to have our guest, Beth Staub. You can say hi, Beth.
Hello.
Beth is a marketer, business owner, multiple business owner, animal lover, mom, all around incredibly awesome person. She runs the marketing for her business, Adventure Auto Glass, as well as her new business, Adventure Photo, and does a phenomenal job. So as you all know, here on the Brown Bag Business Chat, we spend our Wednesday lunchtime talking about marketing, search engine optimization, social media, business development, anything that's going to help a small business audience really grow and get to the next step. So I thought that Beth would be an ideal person to bring on to talk about what she's done with her businesses and how you can really learn from that and apply it to what you're doing in your own business. So Beth, tell us a little bit about what you do there and what makes you really unique and the best at what you guys do at Adventure Auto Glass.
Adventure Auto Glass is a lot of fun. We have about 30 shops in the Quad City area where I live, so we have a lot of competition, and there's even more on the outside areas that we take care of. We cover an area. We're in Arizona, so if you know Arizona, we cover anywhere from Flagstaff down to what's called Prescott, where we are, and it's about 180-mile radius. And we're out in the Verde Valley every day, which is about an hour away from us, and we're here in Prescott every day. What sets us apart from our competition, quite simply, is there's so many things, but what is our Dave? Dave is the owner. He's my husband. He goes above and beyond with customer service like nobody else in the state, I would so dare to say. There was a woman once who needed her dog groomed. She was telling Dave it was all matted. He paid for it. He didn't have to. She didn't ask. And he sent her a check and said, we need to pay for the dog grooming. That kind of service is what sets us apart. It's Dave's huge heart. We also, like you had said, we do a thing. A lot of shops, depending where you are, you've probably seen ads of you get $100 cash back if you use us for auto glass. So there's a lot of reasons why that's bad. I won't talk about that, but we choose not to do that because we feel it's almost unethical. What we do instead is we donate, and it's weird. People don't hear this, and I don't know how else to communicate it, but we donate out of our checkbook money to any animal organization in your name. That means that I would take, if we did Heather's car, I would write the check for the money to send to whoever she wanted to donate to. We pay for it, you don't. People who get it and love it. I've also been known to write checks to any animal shelter, Patriots for Pets for Patriots out east. I've done women's shelters. I've done PTOs, PSOs, kids organizations, sports. We don't just hold it to animals, but most of it. We gave over $4,000 last year, which is huge, to animal organizations to help save lives. My husband would adopt every animal on the planet if he could, but I wouldn't let him.
And as far as what you actually do beyond the amazing customer service and giving back, and I want to come back to that here in a little bit, but tell us about what your role is specifically at Adventure Auto Glass.
My role is I got interested in social media. I thought it was really interesting because we had a website done and it wasn't showing on Google. We could not show in our communities, and I didn't understand why. And I listened to my husband and went with a local person because we try to buy local as much as we can. It was a static site, and this was a few years ago, and I knew that static was not the way to go. And I should have been more vocal about it, but I wasn't quite sure. We weren't showing. The guy told us that we would be anywhere from 8 months to 16 months out to show. And I knew that wasn't right. Everything I had read said, no, you can get it done quickly, and you should get it done quickly, because every day that we weren't showing, the competition obviously online is getting our, potentially our business. So I found this fabulous company who helped me with a website and helped me with SEO. And because I'm such a freak about social media, I studied everything I could about it. There are not a lot of auto glass shops that are good at it. There are not a lot of people out there in this area that are good at it. And I just, by trial and error, figured out how to do it. Twitter is my friend. I love Twitter. I've gotten jobs off Twitter. Facebook with an auto glass company, not so popular. which I find weird but funny. I guess people don't enjoy my pictures of Dave doing auto glass, which I guess I understand. But Twitter, it seems to work better. Twitter's hard, and when you're first starting, it can be kind of laborious. However, it works. But you got to be there, and you got to build relationships, and you got to talk to people. And I'm a pain in the butt, and I know Heather knows this about me. I will talk to you, and I will get on you, and I will comment, and I'm like a little pit bull, and I will get on there, and I talk about anything from auto glass to I share information from other people, and that's probably the biggest complaint I have about social media and Twitter is that people don't share. We're social. You need to share. And small businesses really miss this opportunity. If I see something a small business is doing and I like it, I will share it because that's what gets it viral. That's what gets people talking about it. Well, if Beth's sharing it, maybe I should share it. And people haven't gotten that yet. I don't understand why. I'm also in charge of the marketing for Adventure Auto Glass. I do the banners and these fun things that we leave for people. We also leave in every car that we do, and I'm responsible for doing this too. We leave a bag in each car. We have a magnet. We have a notepad, we have a pen, we have organic dog cookies if you have a dog, because that's what we do. So we leave you dog cookies. And it is funny how many people call me and ask if they're for human or for dogs. And people really dig that as well. We try to come up with creative contests. We give away a windshield, free and clear, once a year to somebody in a drawing of it. We do it different ways. Sometimes I will do a contest on Twitter. I give my happy, handy mugs. There are a few of these in Michigan, Texas, and Arizona. Feel quite proud. And I do all sorts of goofy things with marketing. And marketing is a lot different than advertising. And a lot of people don't understand that in small business either. Marketing is not advertising, just so you know. That's my plug. It's what I've learned. Yay.
To put it in context, what other hats do you wear in the business? So do you just focus on marketing, or is there other stuff that you do there as well?
No, being a small business owner, I unfortunately don't get to do that. I do spend a lot of time doing that because I think it's worth it. You have to have your name out there for people to get you. I also do payroll. I pay the bills. I take care of all of the receivables, all that fun stuff. I also I am the CSR when our CSR is out. What else do I do? Good Lord, taxes. I got to do quarterlies yesterday. That was very fun. I talked to the IRS. That's fun. Luckily, nothing bad's happened. I do a lot of, I belong to a couple organizations in town to help network. Dave does the chambers. I'm involved with Prescott Area Leadership and Prescott Valley Rotary. I love Rotary. That's been a passion of mine since I was a teacher. But it is networking. I don't ever talk about Adventure Auto Glass, but when you're in Rotary or Prescott Area Leadership, when you own a small business, you have to network. I don't do networking groups. We've tried. I don't like the feel. I don't like how it feels on me. I like joining groups I have a passion for. I was a teacher, so kids obviously are my passion animals, are Dave's. So I tend to gravitate toward kid-friendly things. I'm involved with some camps in town. I'm involved at the high school with Interact, which is like a junior Rotary. So I do all of that, and that is part of working for Adventure. My volunteer hours, it is directly linked to Adventure Auto Glass. I hope that answered
kind of backing up a little bit, when did you really start hitting the marketing hard? So beyond just having, some things printed with your logo on them, but actually dedicating time to it. And what sort of difference have you seen in your business since you decided to make that dedicated time?
Huge. I'll tell you what, we've made a lot of mistakes. If there are small businesses out there listening to this, please call me, email me, talk to me. We have made every mistake, and I will be happy to tell you how to save money and time. We started out doing newspaper and print advertising. It did not work for us. We continued because we felt bad. So stupid. Then we started with radio. Radio and television were the best for us. That was the quickest way to get our name out there. People knew us. I was really tired. We opened in 2005, so this was 2008. I was really tired of people saying, I've never heard of you. Huh, Adventure Auto Glass, never heard of you. Wow, what a slam. Obviously, we're doing something wrong. That's when I sat down and kind of made a schedule. I used, it's really crazy and technical, a calendar. And I made monthly goals because I'm a goal setter and I'm a teacher, so I have to have my lesson plans somehow. So I started on a calendar, real simple, of what do I want to accomplish this month. And I put it, because again I'm a teacher, I put it on the big white sheets, And I put my goals monthly up on the board, and that's how it started. We will do so much radio this month. We will do so much TV. Now people know us. That was 2008. Social media came on, I don't know, when did I start doing that? 3 years ago? Only 3 years ago. So I was late to the game. And boy, it's fun. We have a neighbor that's a business. They have a restaurant. How fun would a restaurant be? And I've started a page for him, but he just does not get it. And I don't know how to get him to get it because, oh my gosh, if I could talk about food, I would never shut up. But auto glass is great. But I'll tell you, if you have a business, social media is huge. People are going to the computer. We rarely do any print. I won't do print anymore except for the phone book because I do live in a high retirement place. So I have a phone book ad, but it's very small. All of it now is social media. And we ask, another thing that small businesses need to do, which I did not know they didn't do, is track where your customers are coming from, because you are tracking your dollars then for, is your money being spent well? Do you know I have actually gotten a job off TV? I didn't think that was possible. That's more of a marketing thing just for people to get my name. I had a customer call and they say, how did you hear of us? It's really easy when you're talking to the customer and they love to tell you. We have a chart actually of how they hear of us. Every single job we track. And they said, yeah, I saw your ad on TV. Who knew? I have never bought anything that I've ever seen off TV. So that was exciting for me. And the cable, they like that. They thought that was a big win. But you got to keep track. And I'm off on a tangent again. I do that, Heather. What else am I talking about?
You're really awesome information.
Very excited.
So definitely it's made a big difference in your marketing. Have you been able to kind of back off of some of the expense of radio and TV, or are you still keeping the same budget with that?
No, we have severely cut down on our budget. I made the argument last year we want to do an experiment. Our numbers are way lower now with advertisement. With social media, that's a hard question because it's twofold. You need to spend money to make money. I truly, truly believe that. But you also need to find what works. The TV and radio, we are now on the map. People know us. Our biggest group of people that use us are repeat customers. So do I need to continue and spend my money on TV and radio? No, because they know us. They have the magnet. And you'd be shocked how many people say, I got your number off the pen or the pad of paper you gave me. My magnet's on the fridge. Those things work. And that just helps them remember, man, I wanted to use that guy last time, but I couldn't remember. Oh, I found the notepad. Seriously, those are real stories. So those things work for us. So our money goes into the promotional materials because we find from that tracking, like I said, that works. The social media is working. Now some of that budget is off into different areas, which is very exciting for us. But then we do keep back some because education right now for me and getting savvier with this is important. Education for your small business on how to get your name out, creative ideas of how to market yourself is crucial. As you know, Pam. And Pam was on your show when?
She was on in early December. So Pam Onks of Pan Am Marketing came on and did an amazing segment on SEO. Gave away probably too much information for people to be able to go off and do it by themselves. But yes, Pam was on in December.
Can people still see that from the Brown Bag Lunch? Is it still somewhere where they can see it?
Yes, we'll link to it in the show notes. So if you're watching, we'll get you that.
Plug her, because I'm telling you, if you don't do anything, there are two things, and I'm not saying this because Heather's sitting right here. You can call me anytime, and I will say the same thing everywhere I go. Buy a class from Pam. Whatever Pam says, do it. And Pam is the one who introduced me to Heather. I was talking about my website. Heather saved my life. I was so irritated with that local guy who did my website. It was static. It wasn't working. I wasn't showing. It'd been over a year. We were not, and I could not get it to show. Pam introduced me to Heather, and because of her brilliance, my website rocks. And I'm not making this up, within a week, I was showing on Google page 1. And that's the way it should be. Do not mess with people, and it makes me so angry because just like in auto glass, there are so many scams. Same with your business, Heather, and it's so irritating because you got to go with what works. And I'll tell you what, Heather works. Okay, there's my shameless plug for you. But my God,
Well, thank you.
call me, email me, whatever. But don't mess with these guys who say, oh, static. I've done enough research as a small business owner. It wasn't working for me. I have to be on page one. I have to be, or I'm going to sink. Literally. So if you're in that position and you need to talk to me. I will always say Heather and Pam first, and it is worth every cent. You have to put time, energy, and money behind your marketing. If you don't, you're going to get lost in the shuffle. It's a big world out there. People buy online all day long. And if you're not doing what you need to do, it's not going to happen for you. I can speak from experience. Good Lord.
And that's a really great point, because I think a lot of times people look at the overall marketing picture of what they feel like they should be doing, and it's so daunting. It's so expensive. There's so many things that they want to try, and they see SEO and social media and the local stuff and a new website and print materials and branding, and it just starts to really add up. And they look at the time and the financial investment, and it just seems like it's not doable. So from what you're saying, it seems like maybe go to the professionals to lay the foundation. Get the products that you need to build on top of, and the education you need to build on top of, and then put your time investment in. Because typically, especially with small businesses that are either struggling or are brand new, time is what they have a lot of. They don't have those customers coming in yet. They don't have those clients keeping them busy. They don't have all these demands from a busy business, but they have time. So if they can invest that and then put the minimum financial investment into a good foundation, then they can really go far with that. And then hopefully get to the point where if they don't want to manage that marketing anymore, they can send off pieces of that with the new income that they have.
Absolutely. There is one thing I want to say that I have found in the 10 years that we've been in business. You get what you pay for. People in the social media marketing industry, I talk to a lot of them weekly. And by email, I'm getting inundated. Apparently my website sucks, and I make sure that they understand, oh, no, it doesn't, every day. And then they write back and say, oh, sorry, you're right, we didn't look at it. I'm like, yes, I know, thank you. But you get I get very, very defensive mama bearish when they get weird with me. So, yeah, it's kind of like Amy Spam, another story for another time. But you get what you pay for, and if you are not willing, if you expect customers to pay top dollar for your services, how dare you trying to work somebody for these services for less? You're worth what you're asking your customers to pay for. I don't doubt that one bit. I'm worth what I charge. However, it gives me no right to go to my social media people and say, hey, Pam, can you give me 20% off that class? Why would I do that? Why would I cheat myself out of an education? And why would I want to cheat an educator, someone who's doing business for me? That's one of the biggest irritants I have about small business. These small businesses come to us daily and want to work us down and work us down, yet when we do something for them, they give us full price with no break. Stop. You got to stop it. If your business means something to you, pay up, because they're worth what they are asking for. So there's my little rant on that. You do. You get what you pay for.
I would never go to my landlord and say, hey, I'm a small business. Can I get a discount off my rent? Or when I purchased my car, I didn't try to say, well, I'm a small business owner. What kind of deal can you give me? There's a good balance between taking care of each other and looking out for each other and helping each other grow, and just trying to rip each other off. I mean, that definitely is very, it's a big turn off. And I would go back to kind of staying on track with what we're talking about here instead of getting off on our own tangent. When you look at marketing and you look at the services that you need to purchase from other people, really be very cognizant of how people are selling themselves. If someone's selling you based on an hourly rate or an incredibly low flat price that just seems kind of unbelievable, or so much lower than the competition that it seems like a no-brainer, I'll go with them because it's so cheap. Chances are you're not going to have a very good experience. Most of us who really do a good job and have very happy clients, we're selling value. We're not selling our hours, and that might be disappointing to you when you look at, well, based on a billable rate and how long it should take you to do this, my price should be X. No, that's not what you're going to expect when you work with really good, high-level service people. definitely expect to pay for that value. And like we said, the things that fall outside of your budget, put them on a timeline. Create goals for you to get to them down the road, or go out and find the resources to learn how to do them yourself. But you know, as Beth points out, going with something that's not the right solution, it's just going to cost you more in the long run, because if you build a website with someone who may be a lot less expensive, but that website doesn't perform for you and it doesn't do the job it's supposed to in your business, then you're just going to have to go back out and pay someone else to fix the mess. And especially with like SEO, if you do that, it's a horrible situation. You're going to pay a lot more in the long run. So.
And I have to say thank you, Heather, because she did that for me. We paid high dollar for that first website, and it was a mess. And Heather came in and saved the day. And I don't know where I would be without her. And you know, there are things that I want to learn about. There are things that I don't, and that's how everybody is. Don't be scared to pay somebody to do it for you. Like Heather said, the value comes from not having to repeat it and then pay again. And that, how valuable is that to you? If you're a small business owner, you get that. Get it done the right first time. You know, and then you got to look at also the thing that business owners tend to forget too is look at the long term. I paid X for my website, but how many years am I going to have that website? And what is the true cost of that? When you break it down, well worth it, cha-ching, and it's making you money. If it's making you money, then guess what? It's worth every penny.
Right. So I want to move along a little bit here because we're running a little short on time, and I have a lot of questions left. How do you target people, especially on social media, that are close to you? So we're talking about local business. You don't want necessarily. It's good to make the connections, and it's fun to meet the people that are from California and New Jersey, and those are some of our favorite people in the world, but the chances of them ever being your customer are very slim. So what are you doing on social media to really find those people who are in your backyard, who are your potential customers? Do you have any quick tips or tricks you can share with us for that?
Yes, as you know, social media is about making connections. And what I do is I go through Twitter and I do the searches. If you don't understand that, I know that you probably have a special about that. You go on, you search. And I search local businesses in Sedona, the Verde Valley, Prescott, Flagstaff, and I follow them. Then I start talking to them. And one thing I do is I try to do once a year is I actually go and have a Twitter meetup day. I take stuff to them. Oh. And I'll say, hey, like as an example, one of my favorite people in the whole world now is that the Inn of Sedona. I went in and figured out who the marketer was. She had 3 different accounts. I had no idea. It's a long, I'll make it short. But I went in and brought her coffee because I knew she would like coffee. So the manager of the Inn of Sedona, I brought her coffee. I bring her coffee now every year. And now I stay there for an event in Sedona. So that's how it works. Sometimes we do their work, and sometimes now, and now we are now building a relationship where we're spending money with each other. And that's what it's about. And it's very fun to go out and meet who your Twitter people are in real life, because they really do exist and we are people. It's kind of fun. And that's what I try to do. I try to spend some time in Flag, Sedona, Verde, and Prescott. Good news is I do it so well that I have to do a little self-bragging. I am used as an example in the social media classes at Yavapai College. Who knew? It was very exciting. One of our customers said, I follow Beth, and I use her in my class. I'm like, huh? Huh? And I have autoglass, people. Autoglass is not fun to tweet about. So that's what I do.
That's definitely, I mean, if you can take a topic like autoglass,
yes.
I used to do marketing for a company that made industrial insulation. So you can really take anything and have fun with it just by the people that you connect with and the things that you decide to do. Continuing on with that, sort of crossing that bridge, because I don't want to make this just about what we do online.
Right.
Taking your online relationships and you're making them real life relationships by going and showing up and being present and meeting people. So what does your kind of general day or week look like between the stuff you do online and the things you do locally? I know you know, you're doing the Rotary and you're doing some local youth groups and things like that. So what does kind of that schedule look like? And I know you're a busy mom too. You've got a daughter who's in sports, and it's not like you're just working on the business 24 hours a day. You're living a balanced life, or at least it looks like that through Facebook, and kind of rounding things out really well. So what does your typical schedule look like?
It's different every week. And, you know, I got to say, from when I was a teacher to now, I love my schedule. I have complete control over my schedule, and that's one thing Dave and I talked about when we opened Adventure Auto Glass. My role is to be there for our daughter first and foremost, and that is, she needs something, I'm there. Everything else can wait. And luckily, I am in a situation where that is true. I can make that come to fruition. Next then comes adventure, then comes the volunteer. Every week is different. It totally, like this week has been not at all what I had hoped, dreamt, or, but you know, you just kind of got to smile and say, okay, this too shall pass, and you will just get it done later. So, you know, it's totally different week to week. I wish I could say it's a set schedule because that would be so nice, but it's not. It's different every week.
Do you have any kind of a checklist of, you know, I want to make sure before the day's over, before the week's over, that these items get done, or anything that helps, or at least in the beginning as you were starting to get into the swing of this, that helped you kind of make sure that you were staying on track and you were going to meet your goals or at least progress towards them?
I started with this handy thing. I used to have a Franklin planner. Those of you that know Franklin Covey, you know I love my Franklin planner. But now everything's got digital. I do use my iPhone. Pam actually has a wonderful, wonderful template that I've kind of taken and then expanded on. She taught us about blogging, and that's something I need to do better in, and that's one of my New Year's goals. But I took that blogging calendar that she made and have now produced it for not only Adventure Out of Glass, but my photography studio, along with some personal goals that I want to reach. You know, you can get them anywhere. Again, I can't tell you. Use Pam and use Heather. Use them. The stuff you learn is amazing and will last you the rest of your professional and personal life. And they are transferable, the things I've learned from both of these ladies. It's a really cool thing that she's created, and it's really user-friendly for me. So I do have those. Do I abide by them all the time? I wish I could sit here and honestly tell you yes. No. You don't see my lovely office for a reason. I'm a creative soul, so it's very messy, but I can find anything at a drop of a hat. But yeah, I have to have structure like that, or else I don't show up. Plain and simple. Oopsie.
That's great. And that's another really good point, that I think a lot of times people feel like they have this huge roadblock of technology in their way. Like, I can't start doing X in my business because I don't have A, B, and C tools in place, or this plan, or, you know, I don't have a year-long marketing plan and a forecast and all of these things that feel like big roadblocks when really they're just kind of part of our imagination. You know, we don't have to have those things to be able to move forward and at least get started. So I would say that the key that I'm hearing from you is just to do something, put something in motion, and then start to build goals and plans and mechanisms for tracking and all of that around it. You know, even just a simple calendar and a chart on a clipboard is a great way to get started with seeing what's working and what's not, and keeping yourself accountable.
One of the best pieces of advice that I've ever gotten for my entire life, for any facet, is start with the end in mind. And that is such a weird, it's so easy but so hard of a concept. But if you start with, say, like Marketing for Adventure 2015, if I start with, what do I want December to look like? And I write those goals down, I work backwards. It is so easy. Instead of saying, oh my God, it's 2015 January, what am I going to, it's so overwhelming. You know, it's like, well, what should I be doing? I don't know. What are my goals? I don't know. But if you start with, okay, it's January 14th. And you don't have to start with December. I can do that now because I've done it. But you can start with the end of January. That's how I started. At the end of January, what is it that I wanted accomplished? And then you can, and that's why I wrote it in a big, because I'm a visual kind of gal. So I wrote it big on these big papers, and I would literally check them off. And it felt so good to check them off. Was I 100% accurate every month? No. But I move them to the next month. And it was a really good way. But if you start with the end in mind, what is it that I want to accomplish? A lot of that fear, like what you were saying, when you, that imaginary stuff, and a lot of times it's fear. You got to get rid of that. You know, you are, think of a time in your life when you were fearful of something, and when you got over that fear, oh my God, how great was it? You know, fear is the worst silly thing on the planet, in my opinion. But yeah, you just got to start with the end in mind. What is it that I want to accomplish? What is it that I'm going after? It really does help get some of the other stuff out of the way.
Awesome. And we're coming right up here on the 12:30 mark, so any parting advice, anything we haven't covered that you want to share, or things that you want to reiterate?
Heather, I could talk for hours, as I know you know. So all I'm saying is, if you're a small business out there, spend the money. Call Pam, call Heather, get your stuff done right the first time. You got to, and it is worth every penny. And you really need to look at your budget and create a marketing budget for however you feel it's necessary. It will do nothing but help you. Stay awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I think this was some really great information. We'll have the recap on the website here in the next few days so we can share that. If anyone has questions, I forgot to mention that you can ask questions throughout the show. So if you have questions, you can send them in to me, or you can tweet your question with the hashtag BBBchat. And I'm sure I can get Beth to answer those questions post-show for you. Absolutely. And we'll be back next week. Hopefully, we don't have a topic or a speaker yet. So if you would like to join us on the next Brown Bag Business Chat, I would love to have you or anyone come hang out as we get back into the flow for this new year. And Beth, anyone who is interested in following you, connecting with you on social media, how can they get a hold of you?
Twitter, it's at Adventure Glass. Facebook, Adventure Glass. Auto Glass, I think I'm Adventure Auto Glass. And then our website is adventureautoglass.com. So just find me, and it's not hard. If you just put Beth Staub in Google, you'll find me. Thank you, Heather.
Oh. Don't put my name in Google because it's not very safe for work, what pops up with Heather. Unfortunately. It's not me, but don't Google it. All right, thanks, Beth. We'll see everybody back here next week for the Brown Bag Business Chat.
Thank you, Heather.